This terrifying footage was taken in France in 2016. It shows a truck going down a dark road before a group of what must be 100+ people jump out of the darkness. The driver tries to go past them, but stops when he realizes there is a tree in the road obstructing his path. The group of men quickly begin to surround the truck and start to throw rocks and branches so they can gain access and hijack the truck and its contents. Seeing no other option, the driver reverses to gain some momentum and drives through the blockade of trees, getting away from the horrific scene. A couple of days after this was recorded, the clip was uploaded to Reddit, where the OP went on to explain how this was actually a normal occurrence in that area, so much so that many truckers would refuse to pass through that area. This dashcam footage takes place in New Jersey in November of 2014. It shows a man driving down a dark road at midnight until he sees traffic cones blocking his path ahead.
What the fuck, dude?
What's going on? Can I help you with something?
A man comes from the darkness and slowly walks towards the car. The driver of the car tries to go around him, but the man cuts him off. Then, the driver asks the man if he can help him with something. The man says yes, before reaching into his pocket. Spooked by this, the driver drives around the cones and floors it out of there. Once he got a safe distance from the area, he pulled over and called 911. The police found him and an accomplice and arrested them later on. This footage was taken in Pennsylvania during a tornado warning. It shows the driver of a semi-truck listening to the radio talk about a tornado watch being in action. The driver stops at a red light where the strong winds begin to get even stronger, throwing debris at dangerous speeds.
The tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. for southeastern Pennsylvania. Repeating, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire for the following counties in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Montgomery, and Philadelphia. The flood warning remains in effect. The flood warning continues for the Swatara Creek and Harbor Tavern from late tonight until further notice. At 3:15 p.m. Wednesday, the stage was 6.4 feet. Flood stage is 9.0 feet. Moderate flooding is forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage light this evening to a crest of 14.8 feet tomorrow morning.
The light turns green, but the truck decides to stay put in order to avoid driving further into the tornado. This would be in vain, because the winds just continue to get stronger until eventually the truck couldn't stay on its tires and gets flipped onto its side.
It will then fall below flood stage Friday afternoon. Impact at 9.0 feet. Several driveways and other minor roadways are affected. Water begins to enter some basements. Impact at 10.0 feet. High water isolates several houses. Impact at 12.0 feet. A number of secondary roads are closed, resulting in some evacuation. Impact at 14.0.
Fortunately, the man had his seatbelt on and sustained minor injuries. A van in front of the truck saw it flip over and turned around to help the driver off camera. This disturbing footage takes place in Chile. It shows a car driving up a tight ramp before the car in front suddenly stops and two men jump out and start charging at the car with the dash cam. The driver tries to reverse, but the first guy to get out is armed and holds the driver at gunpoint to get him to stop. But as soon as he lowers the gun, the driver does what we all say we would do in this situation and rams directly into the back of the car, getting away. Later on, after this video took place, the men were caught and arrested. This is when it was discovered that the vehicle the men were using was stolen and was returned to its rightful owner. This video takes place in Jamaica at 4 a.m. in 2022. It shows a man struggling to stay awake during a typical trucking route. He seems to compose himself before spotting something strange in the distance. A man, who seemingly comes out of nowhere, pushes a bike right in the path of the truck. The bike has very little effect on the truck, and the driver continues on his path as if nothing happened. A couple of months later, the footage was uploaded to the r/trucker subreddit, and many users praised the driver for not stopping or swerving off the road to avoid the bike. But a couple of users began to speculate if this was an attempt to get the driver to stop the truck or make it crash so they could rob the driver and steal the cargo. Fortunately, the driver kept going and presumably completed the rest of his route. On May 2nd, 2023 in Australia, dashcam footage was taken of a car driving through a roundabout before suddenly a woman ran directly into the path of the car. The woman gets hit by the car and knocked onto her back. As the driver was reversing, a man came from out the dashcam's view and yelled at the driver to stop before the driver went around the man and woman and booked it out of there. According to the driver, there were several people approaching the car from behind. The driver believed it to be an attempt at carjacking or insurance fraud considering it was 2 a.m., so they reported the incident to the police shortly after this clip was captured. As far as I could find, the people involved were never caught.